Conference USA, one of the most competitive leagues in all of college basketball, features two teams tonight that are looking for separation as Western Kentucky meets Kennesaw State for the second time this year. Look at this in the league. A six-way tie for third place. More than half the league sitting at 5 and 4. We'll see who moves to the top here in the month of February. Nolan Alexander joined by Jordan Griffith. Thanks for tuning in. Courtside here in Kennesaw, Georgia. And Jordan, since this January 11th matchup won by the Hilltoppers, both coaches feel like their teams have developed. How have you seen that?
I absolutely agree. Since that matchup, I think we've seen the best version of both of these teams at separate times. Both seem to happen against New Mexico State, oddly enough. Not exactly sure why. Maybe we'll figure that one out later. But you've seen the premier runs from these teams. For both squads, those 8-0 runs have turned into 12, 14, 16, 18, and those can change the entire complexion of a game. As always, Nolan, I can't wait to watch this one.
Western Kentucky features one of the premier scorers inside Conference USA, Don McHenry, off the bench, top 5 scorer.
Nolan, he is a smooth customer. He has the skill set and the quickness to get to anywhere and score from anywhere. His percentage from 3, it might not scare you, but with how he's shooting it lately, he definitely should scare you and should be on the scouting report. Leave him unchecked and he will have 20 plus. And for Adrian Woolley, somehow he keeps getting better. What he does is he opens up opportunities for everybody else in the paint. He is incredibly polished.
For more of the L's, here's the third member of our...
Andre Weir has officially been ruled out of tonight's game with a left foot injury. It actually happened a week ago when the Owls hosted Liberty, and he ended up having a career night. He posted his first double-double as an Owl, putting up 13 points and 13 rebounds. He did get the start in their win against FIU on Saturday, but only played 5 minutes. Owls head coach Antoine Petway said Weir has been a huge player for them, but when one guy goes down, other guys have got to be prepared to step up. From our side, guys, we should be prepared to see more out of Braden Liu and Raekwon Sherman tonight. Hilltoppers head coach Hank Lona said the X factor for tonight's game could end up being whoever wins the battle at that big man spot. WKU will also look a little different tonight with 8 players listed as inactive.
Thank you, Lauren. Just tantalizing storylines going into this matchup tonight, Jordan.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's next man up for everybody.
Ronji Gordon makes his first start for Kennesaw State since the game at Western Kentucky. Owls at home in white, Western Kentucky on the road in red. Hilltoppers have won 3 straight. Cottle. Simeon Cottle looking to break out of his slump as he buries the jumper to give the Owls the first points.
My immediate first thought of the game, Nolan, was to get him shots early, let him see the ball go in. That will change everything for the Owls in this one.
Jalen Jackson just inside the free throw line, spits out. Adrian Woolley, who we just profiled, Conference USA's Freshman of the Week for the 7th time this year with the early board. 7 times, Jordan, that's nuts.
I mean, when he doesn't win, that's when you got to worry at that point.
Woolley working down low. Out to Liu, launches the 3. Clanks off. Liu had a big game from distance against FIU, and the Owls win Saturday. Here come the Hilltoppers, though, charging and then a foul. Enoch Kalambe quickly racing to the rack, who was, we were told from sources close to the program, not feeling 100% going into this ball game, but looks like he was 100% there.
Yeah, next man up, but it wasn't going to get past him today. He got the start today, and a big contributor for this team. One of the X factors in their stronger performances versus some of their weaker. This is a guy that can really put points on the board. There's a lot of guys on this team that can put points on the board, especially with this style and pace. Very similar in contrast to Kennesaw State.
And there is Hank Lona, who Lauren talked about just a few minutes ago. Kalambe rattles in the second.
Yeah, get the neck brace out for this one. You're going to be looking back and forth, back and forth. This will be a tennis match.
Cottle on the perimeter, thought about the 3. Woolley hesitates. Miller from the corner. Airmails it. Liu with a shot clock ticking down. And a foul.
Yeah, you notice it already, the stingy defense from Western Kentucky. They're really tight on the perimeter, Nolan. Not as much in the mid-range area. They're obviously really good on the defensive boards, one of the best teams in the country down there when it comes to defensive rebounds. But the paint is really where I think that they thrive. The stats might not say it, but I think the film does.
Western Kentucky 6th in the nation in defensive rebounds. Kennesaw State 13th. Cottle looking for his second bucket. There it is. Simeon Cottle shaking off the slump tonight.
The only way to get out of the slump is to shoot out of the slump. That's where Simeon Cottle is. Anyone who is worried about him, get your head checked. Simeon Cottle's back.
Braxton Bayless with a hesitation. Drives, floats, off the glass, won't go. Offensive rebound for the Hilltoppers. Good defense by Gordon. And out of bounds following the miss by Cato.
Yeah, a little two-man game here. In rhythm for Cottle. Open shot thanks to the nice screen from Gordon. He just could not get around it. Was Christian Lander, who is a fantastic defender, by the way. Couldn't get around Aronji Gordon's screen, which, I mean, who could?
Cottle became Kennesaw State's 23rd player to surpass 1,000 points in his career with a late free throw against FIU. Meanwhile, 3B missed, and here comes Kennesaw State. But Antoine Petway said you never would have known in practice this week they didn't have a great scoring game last week against Liberty or FIU. His leadership, assertiveness, all on point in practice this week for the Owls. Braden Liu stopped away. Good defense by Tyrone Marshall. Marshall skip pass to the corner. Cato with the feed, matching up against Gordon. Liu getting in there. Cato over two, stopped.
Yeah, Cato doesn't really light it up on the stat sheet, but one of Western Kentucky's most valuable players. Ooh. Just didn't get the look he wanted to there. Great two-man defense for Kennesaw State there in the post.
Pass interference on the Hilltoppers as Woolley hits the deck.
A great sign early for Kennesaw State's offense, Nolan, is when they're cutting free. That is, I think, the biggest indicator for this offense early in ball games. When you see free runners going toward the basket, that always frees up shooters later because you have to respect it. You have to be able to take a step down into the paint. That allows three-point shots later in the game. It's like a boxer. You're just setting up punches at that point.
Adrian Woolley, you see, third in Conference USA in field goal percentage just as a freshman. Meanwhile, Christian Lander in for the Hilltoppers, the Indiana transfer.
I just laugh because that's all you really can do. It's ridiculous. This is a freshman. He's not supposed to be doing this. They don't produce like this, Nolan.
And it pops through. Woolley right now averaging over 18 a game. Should the season end today, would be the 6th best mark amongst freshmen in Conference USA history. Owls in their first year in Conference USA. Three ball, McHenry clanks off the heel. Who touched it last? And it's Owls ball.
And also, what is it? 41% of Power 4 or 5 teams have been in Conference USA. So all these teams, incredible programs, by the way, have come and gone or are still in Conference USA, and he would still be where he is in that ranks is more than just impressive. That's phenomenal.
Owls up by 5 at home before the first media timeout. Woolley open look. Ka-ching! Numbers don't lie. That's what Adrian Woolley does.
Nolan, I don't know how to describe the word moxie, but I know it when I see it. And Adrian Woolley has moxie. As poised as you can possibly be, step in three, technically in transition, and just so smooth with it. The reaction, the celebration after he hits it, he expects it to go in. His confidence is at all-time high, and it's never waned. He's never not succeeded at this level so far. He doesn't know what failure looks like right now. This guy is on fire and continues to be on fire.
You see 4th in the league in scoring for the freshman out of Tuscaloosa, Adrian Woolley. 20 points in 9 of the last 13 games. So most of those being Conference USA games. And I think that's what's special for the freshman as well, is he's gotten stronger as the season's gone on. He hasn't hit a wall here. And he's obviously become at the top of scouting reports for the opposition.
That's the most impressive part that you remarked right there, Nolan, is people know about him, and they still cannot stop him. It was the same thing with James Harden when he was in the NBA with the Rockets for forever. You knew he was going left, you knew he was going to the free throw line, but there's nothing you could do about it.
And Braden Liu there for the swat of Christian Lander's drive. Liu spins, short range, misses the hook. Miller, third time's the charm for KSU. A 10-0 run for the Owls.
Although Braden Liu didn't get the reward there, I love the activity. He was everywhere on the basketball court. Jamel Miller just with the easy weak side rebound, nobody there.
Bayless stopped short. Second time Kennesaw State is held up on the blocks. And we reached a timeout on the floor. Western Kentucky, known for its tempo, off to a slow start here. The opposite of when these teams met up on January 11th. Owls up big, 4 minutes in. First-year head coach for the Hilltoppers, Hank Polona, huddling up with the Western Kentucky squad. Graduate of Providence in 07, found out the day after he graduated, he had an offer to be a graduate assistant for 2 years. Rest is history. Just a phenomenal run at Indian Hills. Came last year as the assistant, this year as the head coach. Doing a good job at Western Kentucky, 14-8 on the season. Trying to lead the Tops back to the NCAA tournament with a team that returned a lot of talent from last year. Don't always see that, especially with mid-majors to make the big dance. Meanwhile, for Kennesaw State, it's year 2 for Antoine Petway. Head coach for the Owls says, I hit the jackpot with this team. I love this team. Calls them everyday dudes, but so impressed with the culture and the buy-in, especially from this youthful squad that's third in the nation in percentage points that come from freshmen, behind Duke and Rutgers. Bayless, mid-range, off to the left. He beat the horn, but a tough look for Western Kentucky. A 10-0 run here for Kennesaw State. Hilltoppers still without a field goal. Woolley penetrates, blocked by the defense. Leroy Odiaye with the swat. His 19th of the season for the Irishman.
Yeah, once again, I think the stat sheet might not show that they're fantastic when it comes to paint defense, but they swarm, and they have length, and they have size. That you cannot replicate.
Franquan Sherman in the spot of Braden Liu. Shot fake by Woolley, works baseline. Woolley swatted, and he'll head to the line.
The art of the pump fake. It is such a nuanced, I guess, characteristic of your game or skill set of your game to have in your tool belt. You don't develop that until later in your career. I know we keep talking about how he's a freshman, and look what he's been able to do. A beautiful pump fake is something that I think is underrated about his game and about everyone's game, something that I think should be talked about more.
Silly numbers for Adrian Woolley, the freshman.
It's crazy, Nolan, to have the expectation that he has because of the standard that he set for himself. Only his production is speaking for itself. Nobody's out there saying, hey, Adrian, we expected you coming in to put up almost 20 points per game. I mean, can you think of how crazy that sounds saying it out loud? But that is now the standard that he has produced here at Kennesaw State.
Hilltoppers trying to end an 11-0 Owl run. Floater off the heel. Western Kentucky 0 for 8. Almost got the ball back. Great effort there. Colombe fighting for it, forces a jump ball, and possession stays with WKU. Great second effort from the senior out of Quebec, Enoch Colombe.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, especially when you're in a dry spell, in a drought like they are right now. 3-on-1, that's a lot of white jerseys, and that's only one red jersey. You hit the deck, and that is what you come up with, and that's a big effort play. Didn't get the reward ultimately, but you still like to see that from Colombe.
Cottle gets his hand in there off the possession of Lander, and that was something big for Cottle, too. In the games last week, again, didn't have great field goal shooting percentage. However, he stayed engaged in the game. Great at free throws, sprinkled in some rebounds, and then steals, a handful of steals against FIU.
And Nolan, that's the ultimate signifier of a good teammate. because it's easy when you classify yourself as a scorer, you're not hitting the shots.
Woolley. Oh, it's wet. Adrian Woolley with his second triple. And a timeout for Western Kentucky. This one getting ugly for the Hilltoppers in the first half.
Well, he's hitting the shots. He's unstoppable right now. Nolan, we talked about the runs in the pregame. Kennesaw State 14-0 run over the last 3.5. That is enough to win a ball game. Obviously, more than enough time for Western to answer in this half alone. But man, it's the spurt ability of Kennesaw State, and when Woolley continues to command and orchestrate his workings in the offense, this team is incredibly hard to stop.
9 points.
Yeah,
6 minutes and 9 seconds.
We just got started.
Let's check in with Lauren Hoffman. Lauren.
Well, guys, I couldn't hear much what they were saying, but that WKU timeout was not one you wanted to be a part of. They seemed really, really frustrated. There was a lot of yelling, but it mostly was from a standpoint of just bringing up the energy. And you can see they're kind of coming out flat here. While on the other side, Kennesaw State is bringing that energy, bringing all the momentum that WKU needs to find if they want to stay in this game or be in this game.
Thanks, Lauren. Just opposites from the last time they met. Hilltoppers are up by 20 a month ago when these teams met up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Owls lost by 11. They trimmed it to single digits in the second half, but that big run for WKU, too much. Marshall, meanwhile, eyes the three, and there's the first field goal for the Hilltoppers, and it comes from downtown on the 33% three-point shooter.
Yeah, that's the guy that they're going to have to key in on. He finally broke the spell for the Hilltoppers, and I think this is kind of carryover from the last game. 59-point second half, you're bound for somewhat of a letdown. Energy-wise, they did come out flat, but that three could get them right back into it, and I think it will.
Woolley on the blocks, feeling the heat at two, gets underneath. How does he do it? Adrian Woolley in double figures, barely into the ball game. I'm at a loss.
Yeah. I don't know what to say either. It's my job to say something here, and I don't know. I mean, he does it all.
Oh, Lander and the Hilltoppers starting to heat up from distance. Back-to-back threes for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, don't let them get hot from beyond. 18 threes against New Mexico State. That was just one shy of their program record. Again, that was the best version of them that we've seen so far this year. We'll see if the Owls can keep them hemmed in or if they're bound for another good shooting performance.
Cottle with under 10 to get a shot off. Cottle beats the horn. Rolls out. Defensive rebound for Marshall, lobbing it ahead. Colombe on the baseline. Size advantage over Cottle, but he misses it off the glass.
And Cottle pulled the chair out on the second bump. He knew he was going to catch a shoulder to the chest. That was brilliant defending from Cottle.
Loose ball, Western Kentucky with the turnover.
Boy, they got active hands on the other side too, right?
Colombe with a shot fake, uses the screen.
Oh, wow, that was aggressive clear out from Colombe.
Lost the basketball, possession with the Owls.
Let's see. Okay, well, he did get away with a little bit of a, of a move of that pivot foot, but still the athleticism to where he was stuck versus where he ended. Two very different spots. Sure, he got away with, I think, moving that pivot foot for sure, but that doesn't take away from what he's been able to do.
Multiple subs in the floor, notably McHenry back in the floor for Western Kentucky. Fourth game in a row, he's not in the starting lineup. Seals had big minutes against FIU, but the freshman turns it over. 31 against the Panthers, a spark plug off the bench with 13 points. The most significant action for the Tampa native in his first year in the league.
And Nolan, what I hope is he doesn't feel that pressure to recreate that magic, right? You just want to come in, play efficient minutes, do what you're supposed to do your job on the floor. Don't feel like you have to replicate that performance every single time you get on the floor.
Lou causes the steal. Hurd open. Off the iron. Good rebound by Bayless, weaving up the floor. Bayless has it stolen away by Woolley. Woolley on the fast break, dunks it for the Owls. Timeout on the floor. It's Wooley's world. We're all just living in it. 20-8 lead for Kennesaw State at the 11:37 mark. Defense to offense. Number 6 freshman scorer of the nation coming to your living room. Owls up by 12. Back at the KSU Convocation Center in. Get your tickets to the Adrian Wooley Show. He's outscoring Western Kentucky by himself, 13-8.
13 points at the end of a game, pretty good game. 13 points in the half, really good half. 13 points, 8.5 minutes into a game. Are you kidding me? Look at what he's been able to do in this entire season, just 2 points underneath who might be the player of the year in the NCAA this year, and one of the most unheralded prospects that we've seen in NCAA in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years at least. He is comparable to Cooper Flack. That's how good that he has been this year. And on that last dunk, Nolan, do you see the eyes? He said, look at me, I'm the captain now. Yammed that one home, stared down the defense as he took that one to the cup.
That was a brief shot of Andre Weir, as Lauren noted in the open, out with a foot injury. Ronji Gordon starting for the first time since these teams met up January 11th. Nice shot fake underneath, but left it short. Cada couldn't find the cup as Cottle sprints up the floor.
Yeah, obviously need that to break the spell. Can't let Kennesaw State get too big of a lead here in the first. You have to answer.
Ooh, Cottle gets the bounce. Simi flexing the handles. He's got 7.
Got to dry the floor off. Looked like he was sliding in slow motion over there.
Can McHenry, the 5th leading scorer in the conference, get the Hilltoppers going? Lou knocks it loose. Lou already with a steal. Good defense. Pesky defense for the Owls. Meanwhile, here's Simeon Cottle.
It's the second time he's done that today, that behind-the-back dribble. He is in his bag tonight.
Lauren, what you got?
The fact that Simeon Cottle hasn't been putting up his usual numbers over the last few games meant absolutely nothing to WKU, and for good reason with how he's playing tonight. Head coach Hank Plonis said, we're so worried about him catching the ball and shooting it right when he gets it from 25 feet out or in the paint. And he actually compared Cottle to their guard, Don McHenry, who went through a rough stretch this season as well and quickly got out of it. He told me that both of those guys are completely unselfish players and play to win. Plonis said Cottle is still averaging 17 on the year. When that's struggling, you have a pretty special player on your hands.
Thanks, Lord. And that was a special move by Christian Lander against one of the Owls' better defenders, Jamel Miller.
The dream shake from a guard? Oh, that was, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Sherman hopping. And another foul on the Hilltoppers. Here's Lander.
On a very good defender, turned to the middle with the left hand. Whew. Silky, silky smooth.
Yeah, correction, that was unheard. So Lander gets the Hilltoppers at 10 points, breaks a scoring drought of over 3 minutes and change. Miller looking to inbound. Cottle floats, chords for Simeon Cottle. 4 for 5 from the floor. Slump's broken, Jordan.
You know, Nolan, I think Cottle's on the precipice of doing what McHenry did last time. Had a career high against New Mexico State. That is what broke him out of his slump. I think Cottle is just doing that, but one game later.
Good point. McHenry steps into a 3. Nets it! Don McHenry with the 3 ball.
All right, now the game has officially started. When McHenry, your best scorer, has finally put one on the board, that is when the game has officially begun.
And the Owls turn it over on the Miller pass to Lou.
This is one of my favorite watches in all of Conference USA. He has this unique blend of quickness, and it's, again, he's so smooth. He can hit the 3 ball. He doesn't have a great 3-point percentage, but with how he's shooting it right now, that 30-something% might as well be 50%.
And this is the 4th straight game that he has not started for Hank Plona's squad in an effort for Plona just to try to get things going since the game against Sam Houston. Well, it's worked out. They haven't lost. Hit the century mark against New Mexico State, as you noted earlier. Spin move, Bayless. Off the heel, Adrian Woolley with the rebound.
I think Coach Polano knows what he's doing. He's a pretty good coach.
Great coach with an uber level of success at Indian Hills. First year with the Hilltoppers as the head man, assistant last year. And out of bounds off the sneaker of Woolley. So right now, the only thing slowing down Kennesaw State is a bit of itself, and credit tight defense here for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, I think I felt WKU kind of sink into their defensive sets the last few possessions a little more lately here in the first half. They feel a little more comfortable on both sides. And Nolan, when your shots are starting to go in, when you're starting to manufacture open shots, then that helps your defense settle down and vice versa. Complementary basketball is a real thing, and I think you're just starting to see that for the Hilltoppers.
You saw Kennesaw State leading Conference USA in scoring, Western Kentucky right behind.
There you go.
Reasons like that, Jalen Jackson bearing the 3. Jackson last year suffered a season-ending injury in December. He's been healthy this year, playing his 23rd game for Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers trimming the lead down to 8. Lou extending it back to 10. Owls have hit 7 of their last 9. Colombe, top of the key, rolls out the front, snared by Gordon.
I had to look it up. That's Jackson's first 3 of the year. I have to double check that one.
Hurd is fouled on his drive. And I say that to put it into context, saying reasons like that. It's been the guys that have stepped up. They've had a lot of injuries. You noted that, 8 players out. Babacar Faye being the biggest one, averaging 15 a game. Hilltoppers haven't seen him since December, but this is a very veteran team. They started to grasp their roles and even step into bigger roles this year as Hurd misses from the strike.
That's the thing about not even just basketball, Nolan, but sports. The other team, guess what? They don't care. They don't care that you're injured. They're going to play the team that you're going to put out there. No one's going to feel bad for you. And that, I think, incentivizes players that don't have roles, that adapt new roles to be able to perform. Because someone's got to do it. And I think Western Kentucky has been the poster child of that in Conference USA this year.
McHenry comes up with the basketball. Jackson zips it to the corner. Colombe backing up Lou. Shot clock under 10. Bayless, baseline. Airmails it and picked up by Cottle. Cottle, long shot. Sweetness, Simeon Cottle in double figures.
This is the same Simeon Cottle that we saw last game, but with different results. That's the same guy. He is unfazed. The hard work is paying off again.
Good ball movement. Colombe cannot capitalize. Woolley out ahead of Cottle. What a pass, and Cottle finishes. 15 straight games in double figures for the junior Simeon Cottle.
Yeah, that's the second time this game, let alone here in the first half so far, they've left a guy unchecked in transition. You cannot do that with Kennesaw State. They have too much speed, and they have too much athleticism at the cup.
Second foul called against Kennesaw State. A 7-0 run for the Owls on the shoulders of Simeon Cottle. 14 to lead the Owls. A game in which they're trying to break out of this big tie in Conference USA play, up by 15. Simeon Cottle has paced the Owls tonight. 14 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Again, coming off one of the worst stretches of his career. You never know it the way Cottle's playing tonight, Jordan.
I said it before the break, I'll say it again. The only thing that's different with Simeon Cottle is the results. Luck has started to go his way. Shots have started to fall. It's not like he was turning the ball over. It's not like he was taking bad looks. He was still doing what he does normally, which is be an incredible teammate. It's just that now Lady Luck has fallen his way and that he has finally been able to get the hot hand that he usually has from beyond. I think everybody knew this was going to happen, Nolan. It was just a matter of when.
I think the mask is done, too.
Mask has got to be gone, right?
I think the mask is a goner. barring any facial injury, which would be his 3rd of the season.
I think now we're doing this whole reverse psychology thing with the mask now. It's like, yeah, just take it off, not comfortable.
And again, we said it before, but Antoine Petway just praised his leadership throughout the week, how he approached practice, how he continues to bring guys to the gym after hours. Shot clock at 5, Jackson from the line, clanks out to the left, offensive rebound, good snare by Tyrone Marshall. 7th in the conference in rebounding. Can the Hilltoppers capitalize? Lander guarded by Woolley. Hits the spin, fades from the elbow. Into the hands of Woolley. Owls with numbers. A 7-0 run for Kennesaw State. Great pass. Woolley swatted from behind. ODIE would not let Woolley have that highlight reel play. Marshall shot, big steps into the open look. Off the iron. A Gordon rebound.
Although they got the block last time out, they have got to stop letting free cuts through the paint.
Ball finds Lou. Lou can't get the bounce. Picked up by McHenry. Marshall around Gordon, almost had it with a near hand. Cottle running into the defense. Woolley open. In and out for Adrian Woolley. A Lander rebound. And a foul at the timeline on Simeon Cottle.
This is more of the pace and the tempo that I expected early on. It was a little choppy. Well, I mean, Kennesaw State putting a lot of boards on the scores on the board early, and you do kind of have the obstruction there for Simeon Cottle. McHenry's got to get going. They need to put the ball in his hands, and he needs to get him out of this spell. Over their last 7 from the field.
McHenry tries to break it himself. Off the heel and smacked out of bounds by the Hilltoppers. 0 for their last 9. 1 of their last 11, a scoring drought of about 4 minutes for Western Kentucky. This is Conference USA basketball, Jordan.
Yeah,
this team dropped 101 against New Mexico State. 101 points against a team that started out the year 4-0 in Conference USA play. Here they are with 16 points, under 5 to go. That could very well change over the next 5 minutes. Just watch them.
Yeah, they could easily double
This is what happens.
It's inexplicable. I can't tell you why this league is so good, but boy, is it. And it's not exaggeration. We're not just trying to make this league look like it's something it's not.
We're not getting paid extra.
No, not at all. Not at all. We're not going to the conference tournament. They're not taking us, okay? This is just how good the league is. Nobody is that much better than the other. It's about which team shows up on any given night, and that's what the night has been so far for Kennesaw State. We'll have to see in the second half as well.
4th meeting between the squads as Seals misses. And nothing's been close. Average margin of victory for Western Kentucky, a 30 spot.
Well, the game in January 11th that you mentioned, 85-69, it wasn't close at all. That was a dominant performance from Western Kentucky, and now the flip side.
Sherman airmails the 3 following the offensive rebound. Another board for the Owls. Cottle open. Clanks out, and Bayless wisely watches it roll out of bounds.
I didn't see who did it, but what are we doing saving the ball under the other team's basket there? Golden rule. Can't do that. Almost gave Kennesaw State another 3, and at this point in the game, with the stretch that they're currently on, that could have been detrimental.
Shot fake by Bayless into the lane. Bayless stopped by Gordon, but a foul.
Well, you can see confidence when it comes to closeouts, not just shots. And what this shot block attempt from Woolley, he went sky high to try and go get that one. You see Ronji Gordon in the follow through get the hand of Bayless as he took it up.
First foul on Gordon, 4th against Kennesaw State. 10 called in this game between the two squads. Bayless here for 2.
And that's one of the strengths of Western Kentucky this year, Nolan, is their inside-out game. They love to drive and kick. It's something that I think that they're really good at, and they shoot better from the corners than any team in this league.
Spits out the second. A rebound for Franquan Sherman, who's averaging 5.5 boards over the past week. That's his second of the ball game. Woolley misses the runner, has the offensive rebound. Cottle on the wing, gives to Gordon. Good find, seals off balance, and turns it over. And we reached a timeout on the floor. Offenses have cooled down here with under 4 to go. Still a double-digit lead for Kennesaw State at home. Western Kentucky looking to grab some momentum going into the break. Trying to continue a 3-game win streak with a huge victory over New Mexico State Saturday. They lead Conference USA in bench points this year. Again, Don McHenry, now the 4th straight game off the bench, averaging 17 a game. Love to get up and down the floor, top 5 in tempo, and Lauren Hoffman has some more details. Lauren.
Yeah, guys, yesterday I asked head coach Hank Plona about what he's most proud of his team during this 3-game win streak, and he said the fact that they've bounced back from that 2-4 record that they started conference play with. After the break, Plona said they struggled with their pace and togetherness. He didn't want to admit it at the time, but part of that was playing 6 of 8 on the road. He told me his team has showed that they can stick together and make gradual improvements to now get themselves back in a good position, and it looks like tonight will be another test of that for them.
Thank you, Lauren. And he noted it to us in his press conference this week. You go back to the Jack State game. Off-start Conference USA play, and Jack State, by the way, on top of the league, compared to what they did against UTEP, surviving runs in the second half with defensive stops. Jalen Dorsey seeing some minutes off the bench, only averaging 3.2 a game.
And this is where you want to see that veteran presence. Also one of the oldest teams in not Conference USA, but in the NCAA in the country.
And McHenry wins it over Lou as it rolls in off the heel.
That's a great bucket from him. He's got 5 now. Gonna have to turn that up more, just a notch in the second half. I want to see a spurt from Hilltoppers here. I want to see them get 5, 6 unanswered going into the break.
Cottle steps into a 3, off the heel. Tipped by McHenry, and he's able to save it in front of the courtside seats. Hilltoppers looking to mount a run, like you said. Marshall coming off a career-high 24 points in the win over the Aggies. And did he turn it over? Almost.
You know it's really tough being a ref, because I am 99% sure that Simeon Cottle touched his basketball. But he was so convincing in his argument, I could hear it by being just 2 feet away from it, that I almost believed him. I think he touched it, but...
Well, Carrick Martin wanted to touch it.
Yeah.
Delaney Hurd takes it away. Over to Cottle. And a foul. Our correction tipped out of bounds there by Lander. Kennesaw State hasn't scored in over 4 minutes, still leads by 12.
Yeah, within the last few minutes, they certainly had a chance to step on their throat. Haven't been able to do so. That's enough for WKU to hang around.
And Woolley hasn't scored since the 11:30 mark, still sitting with 13 points. Lou hitting a lot of jabs there and then tosses it across the center court stripe for a turnover.
Yeah, I think if he could go back in time, he would have taken that 4 or 5 foot jumper, the little floater right there. Had enough room to get it away. Just overthought the play overall.
See Petway coaching up the freshman. Has gained a lot more confidence in the start of Conference USA play, coming off a 17-point performance in the Owls' win against FIU. It's in double figures for the last 6. Lander off the screen. Spinning at Sherman, flips it out. Bayless. Off the floor, challenging Cottle. Bayless taps it in off the square.
What I want to see more from the Hilltoppers is take advantage of these mismatches. That wasn't necessarily one right there, but they're switching on screens. You're getting guards on forwards. I want to see the forwards get the basketball down toward the paint.
Hurd hops back up top to Woolley. Woolley denied down low. ODI with his second block of Adrian Woolley. Lander open. Off the mark with the three. Owl basketball with 90 seconds to go. A 10-point lead for KSU. The 5-minute scoring drought. Bayless, look at this challenge down here, Jordan.
Man, he jumped on without his eyes on the basket. He jumped, he was looking at the fans, spun around in midair, and was able to score on a good defender. Impressive.
You mean you can't do that, Jordan?
No, I mean, hey.
Gordon working himself. Senior misses off the glass. Offensive rebound with the left hand. Bounces to Cottle, over to Hurd, now Sherman. And a shot clock violation. Western Kentucky holds defensively. Owls forgot about the clock.
Pretty simple right here. Really good closeouts. Really, really good closeouts. I've been very impressed with them in this first half. Outside of that run, Nolan, I think defensively they've been really sharp on the perimeter.
McHenry floats, rolls in off the front of the iron. A 6-0 run for the Tops. And the lead cut to single digits.
That kid's got it all. He's got it all. He's got the explosiveness. He has the touch at the rim as well. His skill set, his tool bag is unlimited.
Sherman slinging. Gordon a three. Big brick by Gordon. Western Kentucky, trailed by as much as 15, has taken it down to 8. Can trim it further, holding for the final shot. McHenry is fouled.
And what was the example I used earlier, Nolan? Especially from a lefty, James Harden. That is a perfect job by McHenry. He saw the extended forearm. You take that shot up knowing that the clock is going down. You're going to get that call hand to forearm. You draw the contact to get to the free throw line. That is a heads-up experience play from the senior.
McHenry third in the conference in free throw percentage. 83% coming into this one. Ramon Seals in for the Owls. Nothing but net on the second. Cottle heaves. And Western Kentucky goes into the half on a 9-0 run against Kennesaw State. Cottle and Woolley outscoring the Hilltoppers, but if this trend continues, that will end. As these teams, despite the scoreboard, headed to halftime with different emotions, and Lauren Hoffman is down with Antoine Petway. Lauren.
Your team came out with a lot of energy. What adjustments do you guys need to make in the second to build on this lead?
I don't like the way we ended the half. Like, we came out great. Then our end of the half was bad. We got to get Henry under control. We just fouled right there. He's got us into the paint and scoring. We're not tracking the ball right here on the layup. We got to go in here and get our defense back tuned up, or it's going to be a long game for us. We got to get back to guard.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Lauren. Halftime in the Saw. Kennesaw State in the lead, but it's Western Kentucky on a big run, making it a 6-point ball game at the break. Both teams on the floor getting ready for the second half in a tight ball game. Kennesaw State with a 31-25 lead over the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Both squads 5-4 here in Conference USA. Take a look at highlights from the first half. And if you're a Kennesaw State fan, it's the usual suspects this season. Adrian Woolley and Simeon Cottle, whom head coach Hank Plummer for Western Kentucky said, we've got to guard. We cannot let them get going. Well, in the first half, it was Woolley, then it was Cottle who got going for the Owls.
When the Owls are at their best is when these two are scoring the basketball at a high clip and defending at a high clip. Defense has always been there. Now it's starting to turn over on the other side. But they did hit a lull later in that first half, the second half of the first half. Western Kentucky, they really buckled down and they stifled Kennesaw State. They got them out of all their comfortability and what they wanted to do.
Yeah, Kennesaw State's Cottle and Woolley outscored Western Kentucky themselves in the first half thanks to a big start to begin the ballgame. You see Western Kentucky 0 for 8 in the first 5 minutes. But as you noted, Jordan, the final 5 belonged to the Hilltoppers on a 9-0 run, taking what was a 15-point lead at 31-16. 31-25 into the break.
And you know what? This sounds crazy, Nolan, but I think going into the locker room, I think the Hilltoppers might have felt better than the Owls.
I agree.
And that's because of what they did in the second half of that first half. Again, defensively, you know that your guys like McHenry are going to start to get going, and Lander as well. Kennesaw State, they need to find their magic yet again, and that's tough to do 2 times in the same game.
Lauren Hoffman has more of the tops. Lauren.
Preaching on what you guys have just been talking about. That frustration that WKU showed early on, no longer there, according to head coach Hank Plona. He said limiting Woolley and Cottle in the last few minutes in the first half was crucial. They need to keep up that defensive effort. Plona said if we can keep those 2 from scoring, we're going to have a good result.
Thank you, Lauren. Owls in white, Hilltoppers in red. Simeon Cottle, the 23rd Owl all-time, over 1,000 points. Did so against FIU. Led the Owls to the 14 at the break, inbounds.
And I think it's a great point that Coach Plona makes, because you look at the score sheet, they've already put up 27 combined. You know, it's hard to replicate that again, and you've kind of seen the worst from Kennesaw State early, unless they can do it twice, which is, again, really tough to do within the same match.
Blocking foul on Blaze Cater, the 6'11" big man, for the Tops.
See him moving also in the restricted area, I believe, with that left foot. Miller, quiet first half. This is a guy that I think can inject some energy and some life in Kennesaw State. You need to see the defense turn into easy buckets and offense in order to restore what they had earlier.
Lou misses the hook. And a foul on the floor as Ranji Gordon went up. And that's now the 3rd foul on Cadis, 2nd in just a few seconds.
Nobody loves to do the things that nobody wants to do more than Ranji Gordon. The guy does all of the things you want on a basketball team. Offensive rebounds is the most prominent. He always comes up with it when he leaves his feet.
He told us this week he studies, as Lou misses the 3, Dennis Rodman for rebounding.
So fitting. So fitting.
McHenry rises, and he's fouled on the 2-point attempt by Cottle.
Boy, this guy is special. Do not let him go off if you're Kennesaw State. He really started to catch that stride, catch that rhythm, got the ball in his hands. His fingerprints were all over the orange at the end of that first half. He drew another foul, 9 points already, 5 boards. And Olin, we talked about who he studies his game after. Comparison for ASUN Conference USA fans out there. McHenry reminds me of a left-handed Darius McGee. Undersized, slender, but boy, does he have a skill set to die for. This guy is absolutely fantastic. Still to this day, McGee, with my own eyes, the best college basketball player I've ever seen.
Oh, well, there goes your follower count for Liberty fans on X.
Well, I mean, hey. gotta appease them, you know.
In and out in the 2nd. Woolley along 2. Grazes the iron. Lander racing, finds Marshall ahead. Marshall misses. Lander cleans it up, and the Tops have taken it to a 1-possession ball game as Cottle steps into an open look after the contact and bottoms out the 3.
You know how difficult it is to take your focus away from what's going on, look at the referee, and then easily drain a 3-pointer?
And then a foul on the runner by McHenry.
The Simeon Cottle of the last 2 games is gone.
How's that not a foul?
I don't know. He doesn't care. You know how difficult it is to recover from that? Your focus leaves for a split second. Oh, wait, I'm kind of open. Let me try and take this and see if it goes in. And it did.
So here's McHenry back to the line. Yeah, have you checked your mentions over the past 30 seconds?
No.
I'm surprised your phone's not blowing up.
I mean, is the comparison not accurate? He plays so smooth, and what I think is really comparable when it comes to both of them, Nolan, is they're smooth and they have that short-term explosiveness. They can get to any spot that they want.
Well, unlike McGee, McHenry in his most recent appearance here in the Convo has made at least one three-pointer.
Oh, boy.
4-point game, 34-30. I'm going to get out of that one.
Yeah, go ahead and put down Do Not Disturb.
Just drop
there
that one
go.
in there. Hurd lobs for Lou over Lander, and Lou hooping the hard.
This is big boy basketball. Way to throw it up by Hurd. A late rotation down into the paint. Lou is going to take that 10 times out of 10. That's a great look, a great pass, and an even better finish.
Quiet night for Lou offensively, looking to get going in the second half. 17 points in the last contest against FIU. Misses. Ranji Gordon wide open, and he's denied by Lander. What defense from Lander after Gordon had a clear path to the rack.
There's no way I saw what I just think I saw.
Lander 6'3", getting up there. Woolley, shot clock dwindling down. Woolley short, and the Hilltoppers have the basketball. O'Daly out ahead to McHenry. McHenry through two, no foul. Defense holds for the Owls, out of bounds, stays with WKU. Getting physical here in the second half, Jordan.
I mean, I'm still picking my jaw off the floor. You don't even get the full beauty of that block right there. Lander, incredibly undersized compared to Ranji Gordon. That is literally a layup. It is called a layup because it is guaranteed. Not in Lander's house. That's the play of the game so far, bar none.
Saw 10 fouls combined called in the first half. At 5 here, and with the physicality, I think we're going to surpass 10 in the final 20 minutes. McHenry out, Jackson's open. Hits nothing. Marshall tries to save it, and it's Owl basketball out of bounds. Antoine Petway locked in on the outside line. Heard that noise in the distance just before, the constant claps. Second-year head man Antoine Petway.
Just love how much he's engaged with every game, every second.
Hurd feeds it to Lou. Lou backing up Lander. Hurd open. Misses the three. Gordon tips into the hands of McHenry. McHenry without numbers, holding at the line. Lander. Swatted away by Lou. That time Lander was blocked. And out of bounds, Simeon Cottle over the line.
It's always tempting, but that's another cardinal sin. Don't leave your feet unless you absolutely know what you are going to do. Oh, got maybe a little bit of hand there. But Lou with the turnover, jumped at the timeline. Didn't exactly see where he was going to go with the basketball, and that is 9 times out of 10 going to go the other way.
McHenry, 3-ball. Clanks off the iron. Lander offensive rebound. Boy, Lander's been everywhere for the Hilltoppers in the second half. Bayless, no look to the corner. McHenry, great shot fake, works the baseline. Don McHenry runs it in for 2.
And that is more of what Western Kentucky needs. They need these easy looks. They need the ones that you can just lay in with no contest.
Cottle cashes it in. Simeon Cottle, 20 points tonight.
Well, you can't do that either. Can't leave Simeon Cottle open, especially from the corner. But back to my thought on Western's offense, you need to execute more plays like this. It's been too much of McHenry getting the ball and trying to make something happen. Trust me, he can do that, and so can Simeon Cottle on the other side as he answers Western Kentucky again. They need to get back into their rhythm, which is transition buckets, easy looks. You're looking into the corners for the three ball. Haven't seen enough of that from WKU so far.
Jackson rises over Cottle, left it short, loose ball. Sherman fighting for it, trying to grasp it, jump ball, and possession with the Tops. And that takes us to our first media timeout. Basketball or a rugby game? Not sure at times in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Back and forth we go between the Hilltoppers and the Owls. A pair of 5 and 4 squads in Conference USA. Simeon Cottle, 20 points tonight, 9th time this year. He's reached that plateau. Adrian Woolley, 13 points. Hasn't scored, though, in almost 20 minutes of game action. The rest of the Owls, 6 points. Right now, a winning recipe. KSU up by 7.
Yeah, I have a lot of feelings when it comes to this, but the first one, happy for Simeon Cottle that he's finally been able to break through, but also kind of concerned for Kennesaw State right now. You need someone else to kind of come into the fray and chip in some big energy plays. You need some putbacks. You need a couple of steals, maybe some blocks, and turn it the other way.
Sherman picks up the McHenry miss. Cottle quickly trailed by Jackson, spins it out to Hurd. Cottle maintains his balance and lays it in. Simeon Cottle having a bounce-back game for the Owls.
Yeah, he's doing it all three phases. The confidence never waned. Once again, it was just the results finally started to go his way again. Simeon Cottle's back.
Bayless, the shot fake, floats it off the iron. Into the lap of Adrian Woolley. Sherman, 8 to shoot. Sherman running off the window for Franquan Sherman, his first bucket.
I'll tell you what, Nolan, you almost cannot play any better defense than that. They had every single guy buttoned all the way up. Just a glimpse of a sliver for Franquan Sherman, and he takes it to the cup. That's great defense still from the Hilltoppers.
McHenry, contested three. Doesn't get the bounce. Loose ball in front of us. Owl possession on a 7-0 run.
I mean, Bayless is all over him. There's also a contest in the paint, a big man anchoring down the key. It doesn't matter. Good offense always beats good defense, unfortunately.
Woolley to the corner. Gordon tries his second three. Ronji Gordon, the big man from the corner pocket. His 5th of the season.
I was shaking my head when he took this shot, but now I'm nodding my head, and so is Coach Petway. 12-2 run. Ronji Gordon nets it from the corner.
New kids on the block. At the top of the block right now, having a cul-de-sac party. Leading Conference USA in rebounding, 3-point attempts. So top 20 in Division I. But free throws and attempts, part of a high possession offense, leading the conference in scoring as well. Western Kentucky right on the heels in multiple categories. Marshall able to regain it. Hilltoppers in the midst of a 10-0 KSU run. McHenry, oh, hits the up and under. McHenry with a happy meal.
Body control to the extreme. Man, you want to talk about the finesse. Superb play.
Owls turn it over into the hands of McHenry. Can he heat up the Hilltopper offense? Maintains his balance, runs into Sherman and a foul. So McHenry trying to will Western Kentucky back here in the second half. For the Conference USA Player of the Week for the second time this year.
Oh my goodness. He took the contact, Nolan, on his way down. On his way down, and he's still able to go to the other side of the rim. That is pure athleticism. This kid just continues to impress me. Again, one of my favorite watches at Conference USA.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows about him. Joining Willie is a top scorer in the league, and an interesting route to Western Kentucky. Grew up in Milwaukee, was a COVID senior, barely recruited, ended up at Hawaii Hilo, a Division II program. One of their assistants from Milwaukee. There were some assistants that Ploma knew about from his time at Indian Hills Connections, playing in that same league as Hawaii Hilo. Gordon looking for a second corner three off the iron. Once he got in the portal on the last day, Ploma heard about it, called him immediately, said, "You got to come over here." Family joined him on a visit to Indian Hills. Rest is history, following him to Western Kentucky, a huge pickup for an overlooked prospects. And possession with the Owls.
Yeah, usually when you hear these types of stories of incredible journeys, Hawaii isn't necessarily involved. I mean, that is usually not a place where you see or hear of a whole lot of talent coming out of. Trust me, I'm not disrespecting the Polynesians over there in Hawaii, but boy, is that an incredible journey, and I can't believe that this guy was overlooked. Sure, he might be a little slender, a little undersized, but he can score with the best of them.
Soaking Franklin Sherman off the alley-oop of Simeon Cottle.
Nolan, what did I say in the first half? They cannot keep letting them cut backdoor unchecked.
Lander tries the three and answers for Western Kentucky. Lander has his second long-distance connection of the night.
I would say Lander has scored 10 points tonight, 10 of the most crucial buckets, it feels like, for Western Kentucky.
Give and go, down low, Hurd unable to handle it. Western Kentucky not happy with the call. And now they are.
I'll be honest, I did not see it upon first glance. And usually when you see a call reversed like that, it's typically the right call because you had a ref that said, hey, without a doubt, I saw this one clearly. They got to get Marshall going here.
Beats Jackson. Up top to Marshall. Sherman pokes it, but a foul. Bluebirds out here in Kennesaw, Western Kentucky. Trying to mount a run, but Kennesaw State with the fireworks here on the feed. Lander answers. Good one here in the second half. Owls on top. Don McHenry off the bench for the fourth straight game. This formula is working for the Hilltoppers. He has 18 to pace Western Kentucky, and assertive to the rack, showing off his range there. And 22 minutes, nearly matching that in his point total. If Western Kentucky is going to come back in the second half, it will be on the shoulders of Don McHenry.
Well, it's pretty simple, Nolan. You look at the stat sheet and you say, oh, well, Western Kentucky, they weren't doing so hot. Why? Oh, 3 shots. Okay, when they are doing well, oh, a lot of shots. Get the ball in his hands and he will make something good happen. And so will Lander. My goodness, this guy has snatched momentum every single time he's touched it.
Lander, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Back to a 6-point lead for KSU.
And he has such a quick release. It's so difficult to guard.
Lou, dribbling, spinning, stopping, rolls out. Sherman nearly knocked it away from Odiaye. Lander, heat check. Out the left side. And Sherman on the baseline. Here comes KSU. Cottle with a foul. That's the first on Jackson.
It's good to see the aggression from Cottle. He knows he has the hot hand. He can do no wrong so far tonight. Here's the three from Lander. Lander, step back. He loves that step back. He can create space. Not better than McHenry, but pretty darn close. He's a guy that wasn't necessarily taking good looks early in this season, but he has really improved as the season's gone along. Higher IQ plays every single game down the line.
Cottle, the best free throw shooter in the conference. Switches in the first. Jamel Miller back in for Kennesaw State here in the second half. Played 8 minutes of action thus far, starting tonight. 2 for 2 for Simeon Cottle. Odiaye hands it off. Marshall top of the key, step back three. Marshall, oh, halfway in and out. A Woolley rebound, flips to Cottle.
Marshall's a good three-point shooter, but I'd like to see him utilize that mid-range game, the inside game a little bit more. He has the agility to do so.
Cottle off the mark with a three. Offensive rebound for Ranji Gordon and a foul. Gordon plucks his 9th rebound, 6th on the offensive end.
He does all the things nobody else wants to do, but that creates a winning formula.
Came in 5th in the league in offensive rebounds per game.
There is nothing flashy about Ranji Gordon, and that is why he is such a tremendous basketball player. He fits exactly what Kennesaw State needs.
And playing a bigger role tonight with Andre Weir out with a foot injury. Woolley and one. First points for Adrian Woolley in over 20 minutes of game action. Might that get him going here in this second half?
And that is a bad omen for Western Kentucky in my mind, Nolan, because you were able to close the window to 10 points, make it 8 points before Woolley was able to score right there, with Woolley going completely silent. You needed to be closer. You needed to maybe even have the lead or at least tie the ball game up. If Woolley continues to get going again in the second half, that might be enough to extend the lead to where you're out of reach.
And almost at a double-double tonight, 1 rebound away. Bayless all the way to the blocks and waved off before the shot.
Oh. They counted it. Okay, I'll be honest. This might be a first for me. What? Okay, I will say I do agree with it being an and one, I think. But I don't agree with completely reversing the call, because he was staunch. He was staunch. No, absolutely no way. And then he started looking around, and everybody goes, you know what? Maybe it's it. Maybe it is. Maybe so.
Bayless misses the and one. Out ahead to Miller. Woolley hits the deck, tries to maintain the possession. And the Owls have it with time granted, 9:29 to go here in the second half.
Timeout, Kennesaw State.
Nine-point lead for the Owls. Hilltoppers and the Owls part of a 6-way tie for third place in Conference USA, sitting at 5-4, meeting for the second time this year. Tops won in Bowling Green about a month ago, January the 11th. And just a log jam here, jockeying for position, trying to win the regular season and take it to the Conference USA tournament in Western Kentucky. An interesting story last year, right? Won the conference tournament, went to the big dance, kind of limped in to postseason play. Kennesaw State now in its first year in Conference USA. Should the Owls win, they would have this on their wall. Beat the defending regular season champs, Sam Houston. Beat the preseason favorites, Louisiana Tech. Beat the defending tournament champs, Western Kentucky. Quite the possible feat for the Owls. And a foul off the ball.
Yeah, that's a stacked resume, huh? That's another feather in the cap for Kennesaw State. And more importantly, Nolan, I think redeem one of their worst performances in Conference USA play this year.
Hank Pona, though, his team on a 3-game winning streak. Again, he tinkered with the lineup, putting McHenry on the bench. Should the Hilltoppers come back? Talk about a confidence boost to win on the road, down by 15 in the first half.
It's just a really good basketball team, though. We haven't seen the brand that they're usually playing at so far in this game, but you can see the potential. You can see why they've been so successful. 101 points last time. 101 points in college basketball. It does not happen. It's loaded. It's just so chock full of talent. Everybody has a fantastic score. Everyone has an impressive defensive big. They have the good perimeter defense. It's just everybody has it, which makes it so hard to separate.
After the third foul on Landers, something to watch over the final 9:27. Woolley buries them both.
Also, Kennesaw State in the bonus.
Bayless finds some room and takes it in on the runner.
It's good to see Bayless chip in. Hasn't necessarily had the night he was looking for. Lowest plus minus going into the break for his team, but he gets his 5th point of the night.
Lou from the corner, works in the lane. Lou extending over Marshall and hanging it high off the window.
And who made that play work, Nolan? Ronji Gordon. He takes the help defense and reroutes him to the other side of the basket. That frees up Lou to go to the other side for the easy lay-in.
And then Lou called for the foul on the other end.
Again, look at Gordon. He's rerouting his help. Maybe not as much as I thought initially. That's a good play by Lou going to the other side, but still, Lou making the play with his feet there.
Wingspan helps Lou on that one, but then on the other end, leads to his 3rd foul of the ball game. McHenry, 3rd in the conference in free throw shooting, has only missed once tonight. He's 8 for 9 currently. Hank Pona, the first-year head coach, looks on. In and out. A rare second miss by McHenry. Marshall gets his hand in there. Marshall comes up with a turnover, and Marshall with a 2-handed dunk on the breakaway. What a play from Tyrone Marshall, the Nashville native.
I completely understand what Adrian Woolley was trying to do, force him out of bounds, but the athleticism of Marshall superseded that. Null and void when you talk about Marshall there.
Cottle runs into the foul. We've reached the 8-minute mark. Western Kentucky looking to mount a big comeback. Tyrone Marshall, look at the steal. The balance staying in line, and the jam. Hilltoppers still down by 8. Tyrone Marshall halfway to his season average, coming off a career-high 24 points. And Jordan, the head coach for the Hilltoppers, Hank Pona, told us, we want him to be more instinctive. Whatever he thinks he should do first, whether it be offense or defense, go do it. And we just saw that going to break with a steal leading to a dunk.
This is one of those super glue guys. He has the athleticism, the length, the balance, the precision, the ball handling, the shooting ability. There are tall guys that can also shoot. Then there are shooters that are also tall, and that is what Marshall is for this basketball team. You're exactly right. When he trusts his instincts and he's looking to be aggressive, he's a completely different player. He did that against New Mexico State. He was shooting the ball as soon as he got it. It was a hot potato for him, and the shots continued to fall. They need him down the stretch to overcome these 10 points.
Simeon Cottle chasing his most points in Conference USA play. That was 28 in the opener, January 4th against Jacksonville State. He has 26 right now. Jackson is fouled on the layup attempt.
Foul committed by Kennesaw State number 25, Ronji Gordon.
So Gordon has his second.
Number 3, Jackson.
Jackson trying to chase another Conference USA championship this year. Had his first one in 2021 with North Texas. Jordan, you made the remark earlier, we talked about Adrian Woolley for Kennesaw State. Like, it's the season ended today, would have the 6th best scoring amongst any Conference USA freshman ever. And then just noting the history of that, of how many schools have played within Conference USA. Jackson in his second stint around the league.
Yeah, it's unique to see that. You see these teams that have come and gone, but incredible programs, big-time schools, and to see somebody who can get 2 Conference USA titles with one school that's existing is definitely a unique note.
Cottle hits the spin, finds Gordon. Woolley catch and shoot. Adrian Woolley, why not with a 3? His third.
His release point was right on the money that time. That's how you know the shot's going in for Adrian Woolley.
Catch and shoot off the wing. Dorsey off the bench with a big offensive rebound. Marshall, oh, there it is. Marshall didn't think about it. Launched the 3 and answers for the Tops.
And no, he's got a nasty jab step. Used it just a little bit right there, a little hezzy move to create a little more space. Marshall is a fantastic basketball player. I want to see more of him for Western Kentucky right now. Great on-ball defense, man. Bayless is a hound.
Lou, shot clock dwindling down. Lou in the lane, draws the foul.
Foul committed by the Hilltoppers, number 22, Dorsey, his first.
Yeah, again, that's a perfect release from Woolley and a great find from Ronji Gordon. That's another thing that he does that he might not get enough credit for as Marshall drains the 3 from beyond. One of my favorite things about Braden Lou specifically, though, Nolan, this is not a guy that you have to draw up plays for. He naturally fits into this offense, and he naturally finds his way to score. He finds his way to the boards, and he finds his way on defense. He's a perfect fit. You could put Braden Lou on any basketball team, and they would be instantly better.
And that was one thing to go along with that a little bit, Jordan. The Hank Pona noted it's tough to scout against Kennesaw State. This is a team that it doesn't have as many set plays. They just try to find their best players, their talent, get their guys in space as much as they can. Marshall looking for back-to-back 3s. That's off the iron. And Adrian Woolley has the double-double. Woolley hopping in the lane, coast to coast for the freshman sensation, Adrian Woolley.
Long strides, long dribbles. He carves into the paint, and so does McHenry.
Slices past Gordon in the Owls defense. Cottle working with 26 points. And again, last week for Cottle in 2 games, made just 4 field goals. Woolley getting physical. Errant with the pass and a turnover. Bayless up the sideline. Shovels it out. Marshall, a little short. A rebound for Ronji Gordon. Now 11 for Gordon to lead the Owls, 1 more than Woolley.
Is Gordon not just the ultimate stabilizer for this team? I mean, you talk about an anchor. He's a rock for Kennesaw State.
One of those guys, Petway notes, doesn't talk a lot. When he does, the team listens. Lou open, off the heel. Rebound for Marshall, who pushes the pace.
I know he's missed his last 2 shots, but Marshall's really feeling it right now.
Spins, Marshall is fouled.
There are 2 versions of Tyrone Marshall. There's the somewhat timid one that's not really involved with the game, doesn't get his prints on the basketball. And then there's the one that starts to get the rebounds Then he takes it to the other side, and he starts to get more involved. Completely different players. He's playing with confidence. He's starting to enter into that flow state, which is a dangerous sign for Kennesaw State.
Woolley picks up his 3rd foul. So he and Lou both with 3 on the floor. So Marshall up here at the stripe, the Nashville native. And same high school Pearl Cone that Kennesaw State fans might remember of All-American quarterback Xavier Shepard of the 2021 Big South Championship. As Sherman takes the spot of Lou. Marshall rolls out, and the rebound for Adrian Woolley.
Yeah, need those.
Sherman wide open, doesn't take the shot. And tipped out of bounds, stays with the Owls.
His facial expression when he decided not to take it is just incredible. So you think I'm going to do that? I know you want me to shoot that. I'm not going to do it.
So Woolley has his 2nd double-double. When's the last time that happened, Jordan? Western Kentucky. Last time he had 10 rebounds. So a new career high for Woolley, the freshman, 11 boards, and his 2nd double-double. Cottle. And a hard foul.
And Nolan, what this is 2 guys on the same page. 2 guys that are comfortable with playing with each other, even though this is their first season playing together as starters and major contributors on the same basketball team. He takes a contact, but the pass was in a perfect spot for Cottle as he was already cutting, as he was already sprinting to the cup. That is oftentimes a miscommunication and a turnover.
4th foul on Lander, the leading 3-point shooter tonight, 3 of 5. Western Kentucky is a team 7 of 23, coming off an performance in which they hit 18. 18. One off the school record. But 7 of 23 tonight. A rare miss there from Simeon Cottle at 91% on the year.
And my question for you coming into this game, Nolan, was both teams, I think, had their best half performances of the year against New Mexico State. Kennesaw State, they scored 45 in the second half against the Aggies, and then they scored 59. Western Kentucky last time put up 101. So what is going to be the middle ground? And so far, this has been the answer.
Aggies catching strays from Jordan Griffith on this
listen,
one.
I got nothing. I got no problems with him. Just looking at the stat sheets, Nolan.
Jackson pinballs his way. Last touch by KSU. Kennesaw State has only lost once at home this year. That was last week, 7 days ago against Liberty. Owls are 10-1 here for Antoine Petway. 34-6 at home, dating back to the start of 2022. Bayless launches the 3 and bottoms it out for Braxton Bayless. His first from distance. That can get the Tops back into this one.
It can, but boy, we've seen it time and time again throughout this game. I need to see more than just getting within shouting distance again. They got to cut into it, and they got to cut into it now.
Cottle lost the handle, a steal for Western Kentucky. Marshall weaves through the defense. Out ahead, McHenry blocked by Gordon. Dorsey, another offensive rebound, his 2nd of the possession.
Heads up play from Dorsey.
Bayless, a long one. Off the heel, out of bounds. Kennesaw State ball. And we've reached the final media timeout. Western Kentucky down by 9. Kennesaw State looking to break the separation in a 6-way tie for 3rd in the league. Here's how it's supposed to shape up in the preseason poll for Conference USA. Western Kentucky, the defending tournament champs, went to March Madness, slated 2nd behind the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. Kennesaw State, new kids in the block, tied with FAU for the basement. Not the case. Here in the 2nd weekend of February action. Once we've reached the regular season, Hilltoppers, Owls, and take the pick of the league. 6 teams tied for 3rd at 5-4.
Yeah, Kennesaw State picked last in the preseason poll. I think everybody knew that that was not the case with the recruiting class that Kennesaw State and Coach Petway was bringing in. But at the same time, Nolan, the floor of Conference USA is the ceiling for some other conferences this year.
Not the roof.
The floor. That's a deep cut right there. That's a good one.
Press action by the Hilltoppers. Gordon across the timeline. Sherman open. Sherman running in with a foul.
And listen, Ranji Gordon, we talked about it's going to be vital about how the fives play. Ranji Gordon feels like he hasn't come out of this game. 32 minutes in this one. He has an underrated knack for passing. 4 assists. 4 assists tonight. He's always been able to find the right guy at the right time. That's a great play from Ranji Gordon. You might not expect it by looking at it, but he's got a nice skill set right there.
They're reviewing the foul on Western Kentucky's Jalen Jackson, his 3rd.
Okay, that's a foul. He reached for the ball. That's a completely okay basketball play. It should not take long. There you go.
Ball stands. It's a common foul. Shooting 2, number 6,
Jordan, a little similar here to the end of the first half for Kennesaw State and Western Kentucky. The Owls haven't hit a field goal in over 3 minutes. They've gotten their points though with the line. That's the difference from the end of the first half. Owls are not shooting in the bonus, nor were the tops. Weren't that many foul calls. Second half, we got whistles aplenty.
Now, it's certainly not a trend that you want to continue if you're Kennesaw State, and might concern you going down the line, but you just want to get the win. Right? That's the concern that you want and the objective that you want to pull away from this game right now. They've been able to get the fouls, get to the free throw line. Most importantly, Nolan, they're drilling their free throws from the charity stripe.
15 of 22 for KSU, 12 of 19 for Western Kentucky. McHenry hangs it high, almost bounced in, and Franquan Sherman bends away the Hilltoppers for the Owl rebound. To Cottle. Sherman slams it! Look at Franquan Sherman energizing the Owls off the bench. There he is again! Gordon and Sherman, good defense for KSU.
Franquan Sherman has got to be one of the best role players in Conference USA. Every time he comes off the bench, he makes an impact one way or another. His athleticism, mostly his rebounding and defense, but he can also jump out of the gym, as you saw right there.
8 points, 5 rebounds. Cottle has a new conference high. 29 for Simeon Cottle, surpassing his 28 in the opener against Jack State.
Yeah, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. He's stringing together combo dribbles. He's creating his own space, and he is taking every shot that he can take.
Lander airmails the 3, and the Owls can put the clamps on this one. Woolley. Open and decides he wants to milk the clock. It's the call from Petway. 6-0 run for the Owls. Gordon. Franquan Sherman crashing in for the offensive board. Second in the possession, but swatted away by Marshall, and the Owls get to milk it longer.
I would love to hand time how long he was in the air on that first initial rebound. I mean, a marvelous rebound. Here's his first play. Open court. Not a perfect pass, but he makes it work. He flexes on the defense. Again, the athleticism. A contested dunk, by the way. He also had to manage his way and maneuver his way underneath the 10 to get the slam.
Taking a look at the timing here. The break in the action, a 15-point lead for Kennesaw State. which, by the way, matches the Owls' largest lead. Late in the first half, at 31-16, Western Kentucky went on a 9-0 run to make it a 6-point ball game. Hilltoppers have been on a 12-0 run. They have not led in this ball game at all. It's been all Owls.
Wow. You don't know, it kind of feels like the first game a little bit, but the roles have kind of reversed.
Yep.
Kennesaw State, they were just able to get within shouting distance, and then no. Just within shouting distance, and then no. A big 3, a big and 1, a big 2 for the other team. That's what it feels like this time.
So again, taking a look at the time.
I think they just want to watch Franquan Sherman rebound the basketball. I mean, kid, that first jump is insane. It's insane.
Sophomore out of Lincolnton, Georgia, Grovetown High School. School that's not that old. Only about 16, 17 years old. 15 on the shot clock. A minute 30 to go. Sherman against Dorsey, and we've got a foul.
I think the word that comes to mind when I think of Franquan Sherman is balance, because he also drew the foul because of his post presence. He's able to put his back to the basket and not just do it because he can do it. He's a threat when he does it. He can score. He doesn't necessarily hit the turnaround jumper a whole lot, but he's got the power to take you down in the paint and finish at the rim.
Jordan, you've talked about it separately, but to tie it all together, with Andre Weir out for the Owls with a foot injury today, KSU will rely more on Gordon and Sherman specifically. Other players at times playing that 5 spot, but those two combined have had a very impressive game for KSU.
Yeah, you say, who's going to play our 5? Well, how many people are going to play our 5? You get 2 separate guys that can chip in and perform the way that they did with fresh legs and explosiveness. That's brilliant.
Cotto with a steal to Miller. Jamel Miller. And out of bounds. They combined for 20 rebounds. 11 from Gordon, 9 from Franquan Sherman. Franquan Sherman has 9 points and 9 rebounds in 20 minutes. I mean, just if it's a closer ball game, just tinkering with a double-double.
Quietly, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's already there, but if it's closer, maybe he gets it. Don't know necessarily if that's going to happen here with the final 58 seconds, but 9 and 9 in 20 minutes for Sherman. So they're going to review this one with Kennesaw State holding possession with 58 seconds to go.
Yeah, Sherman, again, back to your report on Sherman. He's a classic right place, right time guy. He puts in the work in practice. He's consistently one of those guys that Coach Petway mentions, and you can see why. He just works so hard. He's a gritty player. He has some of those characteristics that Ronji Gordon has, but I think with a little more natural knack for scoring the basketball.
Antoine Petway told it us multiple times. Again, just felt like he hit the jackpot with this locker room. This team is assembled here in year 2. Western Kentucky about to see a 3-game winning streak come to an end. And then up next, the Hilltoppers take on league leader Jacksonville State. McHenry connects from the corner. Not done yet. 24 from McHenry and a steal for Jackson. Out to Dorsey. Lou runs into it. Shot fake McHenry and a foul on Sherman.
And I mentioned it to you between the last break, but Dorsey, I think he's made a big impact, not necessarily on that play, but if he would have, I think, gotten in a little earlier in the game, he was a big impact player. Just a few rebounds, but every single one was crucial for Western Kentucky. Would like to see him a little bit earlier.
McHenry, the lefty, nets it. 25 for McHenry. It continues a strong run for Don McHenry. 11th game over 20 points. 19th game in double figures.
Anytime you got a guy that can score like that, you're a threat to beat anyone on any given night.
And Kennesaw State maintains possession. Look, Western Kentucky comes up with a turnover there. What was a 16-point lead? Had a chance to dwindle in half.
Yeah. They have weathered the storms of Kennesaw State runs, which is not a whole lot of teams can say that.
McHenry with the steal and lays it in. Hilltoppers will not go down until the horn sounds. They made it a 9-point ball game. Look at McHenry.
He said, call an ambulance, but not for me. McHenry continues his superb night. I'm just uber impressed with this kid. You look at the stat sheet, obviously he fills it up. Obviously he can score 28 points again. This guy is phenomenal. And you can see it on the defensive side as well. Once again, when you have someone like McHenry, you just get a couple of guys to chip in, and the next thing you know, you might be the best team in the conference. That's all it takes.
Yep.
Because they have a star player in McHenry.
Two of the best scorers in the league. Cottle 6th, McHenry 5th. And they've lived up to the billing tonight. Both almost at 30 points.
Man, you're looking at why Conference USA is so deep, because they have some of the best players at the mid-major level in the country. And two of these guys on full display tonight. It's been incredible to see both of them fight adversity early in this season. McHenry and Cottle both found themselves in somewhat of a slump, and both have found themselves scoring 20 points tonight, and McHenry with 20 points in the prior performance as well.
Braden Liu inbounds. Simeon Cottle leads the league in free throw shooting. 5 of 6 tonight. Liu looking for him. Liu calls the timeout.
Timeout, Kennesaw State.
Man, tip your cap to Western Kentucky. No quit in the Hilltoppers.
Absolutely none. Even if they didn't have this run, you could say, hey, Western Kentucky, they brought a heck of a fight to Kennesaw, Georgia. But even now, you could say, this is a pesky basketball team. Love to see it for them.
Hilltoppers have struggled on the road, 3-6. Meanwhile, home cooking has been so tasty for Kennesaw State, sitting at 10-1 on the year, 34-6 dating back to 2022.
And Nolan, if you look across the board, everybody in Conference USA has struggled on the road. That is what the advantage means to be here at home. Because these teams are so close in talent, they're so close in skill, it creates such a bigger advantage when you're at home. The noise, the crowd, the energy in your favor, it is a time and a half more important than without it.
Sherman with the inbounds, back to Liu, tipped away. Loose ball, McHenry has it for the Hilltoppers. McHenry tries the up and under. Jackson leans into contact. Don't flip the channel.
No. I mean, at this current pace, they might win the ball game.
They were down by 16 with 1:19 to go. Currently a 7-0 Hilltopper run. Woolley just had his 4th foul. And Jackson rattles it in.
This is when you start to feel a little bit of a shift. It's no longer, okay, that's cute. That's nice that you made it a little closer versus, okay, this is a legitimate threat now.
Jackson 2 for 2. They've cut this 16-point lead in half, then some. Inbounds to Liu, gives to Cottle, leading the conference in free throw shooting. Lobs to Sherman, and Sherman's fouled with 15 seconds to go.
Yeah, and when you kind of climb into such a deep hole there, Nolan, all it took was one clean possession for Kennesaw State to get a little bit of that momentum back. You hit a couple free throws here, and I think you're safer. I don't know. The pace that they put on there was pretty extraordinary.
As long as Don McHenry's on the court, I don't know if anyone's safe.
That's right.
Sherman, over 80% on the year, now in double figures with 10 points, and 4 of 5 at the stripe.
He needs to pull the Westbrook. Let's just throw this as hard as you can at the glass and get the rebound, get that double-double.
Misses the second, collected by Dorsey. Hilltoppers need a quick shot. McHenry launches the three. Well short. Cottle is fouled.
Did you hear that, Nolan? That was the collective sigh of relief from all the Owl fans here in Kennesaw, Georgia. You can finally breathe.
Simeon Cottle. A conference high 29 points for him. Misses his second free throw of the ball game. 91% leading the league. Career highs 32, did that in the final non-conference game of this season against Bruton Parker. But over 30 points tonight. McHenry adds to his box score. And that does it. Kennesaw State takes down the defending Conference USA tournament champions and earns its first ever win against the Hilltoppers. Owls move to 6-4 in Conference USA. Started hot to begin both halves, and it's enough with high scoring. 30 from Simeon Cottle and 23 from Adrian Woolley.
And you know what, Nolan? They overcame themselves. Sometimes the self-inflicted wounds, the untimely turnovers, but really good perimeter defense from Western Kentucky. They were able to break it at the times they needed to. This is a huge win and a great get-back game for Kennesaw State.
So Kennesaw State takes down the defending Conference USA tournament, regular season, and the preseason favorites thanks to Simeon Cottle. 30 points, 10 of 14 from the floor. A week ago, he went 4 of 31. Tonight, 10 of 14. Conference USA high for him, 30 points in 39 minutes. Oh yeah, 5 boards and 2 steals. Did everything for KSU.
Not a single thing has changed except for the scoring tally. He fills it up everywhere.
And Lauren Hoffman's on the floor with Simeon Cottle. Lauren.
Well, Simeon, after a little bit of a tough stretch, your shot was falling tonight. You had a conference high of 29 points. How did you keep your confidence? And what was working for you tonight?
Just believing in Jesus, playing with me and standing my Bible. I know I got a good support system around me and just keeping me motivated and keeping me confident and just standing in the gym, just getting them same quality reps that I was getting when I was missing and just finding my pace and finding my value.
Now this game was really similar to the last time you guys played WKU, except this time with the Owls on top. What was the difference maker?
We knew that when we went over there to their crib that they kind of gave us a bit of a good game, and we didn't play our best basketball. So we came and made sure that when we started this new slate and we playing against the same team that we done already played, just start fresh and start new and just go out there and compete and play as hard as we can possibly.
How does this win help you guys build some momentum in conference play moving forward?
It just keep us motivated, keep the momentum high, and keep our heads high. It keep us going. So it's been a good journey.
Thanks, Simi. Great job tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now I'm going to go find Owls head coach Antoine Petway. He's celebrating with Cottle. Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Despite a few different runs, KSU never let go of the lead. What was the key to getting tonight's win?
Yeah, it's just playing our style of basketball. I thought we defended at a high level for most parts of the game. How about Simeon Cottle, man? Like that kid is so awesome. He's what Kennesaw State basketball is about. That dude just, like, minute slump, we just told him we believe in him, and we needed him to believe in himself. He come out and explode for 30. Adrian Woodard, double-double. Frank Corn, Bray Lou, total team effort. But I think our guys guarded. That's why we won this game. We guarded, we defended.
You guys beat the defending conference champs. You talk all the time about how competitive this conference is. What does this win mean to you guys?
Like, forget everybody's expectation. They picked you ninth. So what? What now? It's our standard. Hold each other accountable to a plan to our standard. That's a great group of young men in there. That's a great group of dudes. They fight and they believe. I love them. I love being their coach, and we just got to keep going, man. All glory due to God.
Coach, congrats on the win. Can I get a go Owls from you, buddy?
Yeah, go Owls.
Let's go, baby. Hootie hoo. Let's go.
Fun times tonight in the Petway household. 76-69, Kennesaw State takes down Western Kentucky. Your thoughts on Coach's comment there about the Owls guarding?
I think he's exactly right. You looked at, yes, McHenry did go for 30 tonight, but who else was able to contribute? Marshall didn't really start to get going until the second half. They did a great job by defending the perimeter. They did not allow a whole lot of threes to a team that hit double digits last time. Only 9 threes in this one. 9 for 28. This is a good three-pointing shooting team. They were able to hold them from beyond. That was the difference maker for them.
Another entertaining affair in Conference USA hoops. Western Kentucky sees a 3-game winning streak come to an end as Woolley, Cottle, and the Owls take down the Tops 76-69. For everybody upstairs doing a great job throughout our production crew, led by Sanders Sullivan and Brandon Bedford. Lauren Hoffman on the floor, my partner Jordan Griffith. I'm Nolan Alexander saying good night from Kennesaw, where the Owls win their 11th at home.